Helen, welcome to Food Integrity Now.
Hi, Carol. How you doing? I'm so glad we're finally getting this done.
I know, no, I have really been wanting to have you on the show for a long time and just coordinating it and everything. And I'm just thrilled that you're here to share something I feel is really important as a health and wellness coach. When I work with my clients, it's so important to have clean air and clean water. And, I think a lot of people know about clean water, but maybe may not think about clean air. So I wanted to have you on the show to just discuss some of the why. And so that our audience can understand why they might need it. So I'm going to start. I'm going to let our audience know a little bit about you, and I'm going to read your bio because I didn't memorize the whole thing. My guest today is Helen Cristoni. Helen is a passionate health and wellness executive with over 20 years of experience across a wide range of businesses in this category. Helen thrives on connecting with great products through meaningful partnerships. With her uniquely diverse background and dedication to healthy living, Helen has an integral role as Vice President of Business Development and Partnerships at Ideal Living, the makers of AquaTrue, Air Doctor, and AromaTrue. Ideal Living believes in wellness tech. Now, what does that mean, wellness tech? I think we'll get
Oh,
into that in a minute, but
yeah, for sure.
with a mission and that everyone has the right to pure air and clean water. Helen oversees both education and partnership at Ideal Living and strives to help people around the world learn about the importance of having purified water and clean air in their homes or offices. She is the Senior Vice President, Partnership Business Development, Public Relations at Ideal Living. And Helen, again, welcome to Food Integrity Now.
Thanks, Carol. I'm so excited to be here. And yeah, there's wellness tech. What does that mean? And it really means that using technology to make sure that we are as healthy as possible. So we'll get in today on how Air Doctor and AquaTrue can really help everyone kind of achieve some of their foundational health goals.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, when I'm working with my clients, I always, as I'm going through what we put on our body, what we put in our body, I always have to go through, what about your water? What are you breathing in your home? And I thought it would be great to have you just share some of your knowledge. You've been doing this a long time on the importance of this. So why don't we start out with clean air? And Helen, I'm going to ask you to share your screen
Sure.
because some of our listeners are video, some are audio, so we can do both. So why don't you share your screen and we'll just talk about why it's important to, breathe in clean air.
Great. So, first of all, a little bit about ideal living. We really believe that thriving starts here. And I always talk about, you can take all the supplements in the world and do all kinds of things for your health and eat organic. But if you're not checking your air and water boxes, that foundation isn't there to support your health journey. So, as it relates to air quality, indoor air can be 100 times more polluted than outdoor air. That's according to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. One out of every two Americans, that's 150 million people. They're living in areas with unhealthy air quality. And just to put it in perspective, we are very big air consumers. And so humans inhale about 3,000 gallons of air a day. When you think about that, like if you were going to drink 3,000 gallons of water a day, you would want to make sure that that was the best possible water you were drinking. And we'll talk about water in a little bit, but as it relates to air, we're literally inhaling so much air every day. And wherever you can, you want to make sure that that air is as pure and clean as possible. Here today, I'm sitting here in Sherman Oaks, California. We have less than 50 days a year with good air quality. And so, some people think, oh, well, that's outside. But what happens is, air from the outside comes inside and it gets trapped in our boxes, which are our homes that we live in. And so, making sure that you're dealing with your indoor air is super important. So, what pollutants are found in our home? So, of course, we have, like the regular offenders. We have bacteria and viruses, pollen, pet dander, mold spores, smoke and dust. And then we also have volatile organic compounds, gas stoves, cleaning products, bug sprays, personal care products. I talk about it all the time, and I'll talk about it a little bit more on our next slide. Personal care products are really, really very bad for women and children, our pets, new construction. And so, these things are hiding in our home. So I really like to kind of double tap on gas fumes that are coming from our stoves. There was a huge remodel revolution that happened during COVID. Everybody went out and they remodeled their kitchens, they remodeled their houses, and so many people have these high BTU burner stoves in their homes. They've put professional stoves in their houses where there's really no business to have that many gas fumes going off in your house. And I don't know if you're like me, but I'm very guilty of putting like a pot of water on to boil and not necessarily turning on my overhead vent. So all of those gas fumes are pumping into your home, and it's very important that we're not breathing them and they're properly ventilated through the house, and also that there's air purification to make sure that that's removing that volatile organic compound from the gas stove in our homes. And so gas fumes also can be emitted by our clothes dryers, our water heaters, some fireplaces. So let's just make sure that when we're using gas appliances in any form, number one, that they're properly ventilated, and number two, that you're purifying the air in that room. Two very important tips. And then in addition to that, you've got volatile organic compounds. These are really, really bad for us. So, anytime we bring anything into our home, carpeting, new furniture, flooring, all those Amazon boxes that we get, especially during the holidays. Oh my gosh, like if you're getting Amazon box after Amazon box, if you can, please open your boxes outside, let them air out before you bring them in. Everything that we're bringing in our home is treated with some sort of volatile organic compound. So, really important that we're just identifying what those are.
Wow,
And
Helen,
we're,
I wanted to interrupt for a second because I
yeah,
just think that's something I've never really thought about are the Amazon boxes.
oh, yeah.
And I mean, how many of us, guilty, order from Amazon on a regular basis? So I think that is something that I've never really thought about. So thank you for that. And I'm going to open mine outside from now on.
I mean, yeah, because they off gas,
Yeah,
these things,
yeah.
and who knows where they're coming from and what chemicals have been locked in those boxes. And then you open them up and all those VOCs kind of disperse into your house. Like, for instance, hardwood, let's say you're changing your flooring in your house and they come in, they bring the boxes in and they're like, open your boxes for 3 days so they can like adjust to the house. These have all, I mean, most things like construction pieces have been treated with some sort of chemical, to make sure they're fire retardant or safe. And all that stuff's really not good for us. There are paints, there is flooring options, there are bedding options that are non-toxic. Um, as much as you can, you should make those choices, but some things are just things, right? So as much as possible, make sure that you have an air purifier that removes volatile organic compounds, that all do. And that also you're just considering what you're bringing into the house. And what's great about Air Doctor, and we'll talk about this a little in a minute, is it really lets you know it's working, and you'll see like what you're bringing into the house. It's like pissing off the air in your house. So, but first I'm going to talk about phthalates. What are they? What do they do? So I'm really guilty of like using a dry shampoo or, putting product in my hair. And then when I blow dry my hair, you can see like the wafts of smoke that like come through the house when anybody is like doing their hair or using a curling iron. anytime you use perfume or nail polish, deodorant, anything that has a synthetic fragrance, these really like, pumpkin spice candles, most of them are not good for you. They're basically petroleum products. And why is it bad for you? These phthalates are hormone disruptors and they really wreak havoc on women's hormones. They can cause issues with your fertility. They can cause hormone fluctuations. They can cause things like, early menopause or early puberty for young girls. So these things are really, really dangerous. They're not good for us. And if you're big, like beauty product consumers, that's why clean beauty is gotten so big, is because we as people just should not be exposed to all this hormone disruption. And so, really important that we realize that. And everything that we're spraying, any fragrance in the house, cleaning product that has fragrance, it's all really bad for us. So, this is a place where we should really make non-toxic options. So the cleaner your products, the better. And also, if you're using a product that's not clean, have an air purifier in the house. And you'll see like dry shampoo is my big offender. I love my dry shampoo. And it's the 80-20 rule. So that's my part of my 20. And my air doctor will kick off every single time I use dry shampoo in my house and let me know that I'm being naughty and that I should really not be using that product. So, how can Air Doctor help? So, what I love about Air Doctor is that it has a very easy sensor. And there are all kinds of complicated products out there. But what we wanted to do here at this company was really just take the guesswork out of clean air and make it really simple for people at home to just know that it's working and it's actually doing something without having to think about it. So our air doctors have these great sensors right on the front of the unit. And when there's something wrong with your air, you're cooking something. A dog walks by, a door opens and dust comes in. You use dry shampoo, you make popcorn. There's all these things that happen in the house. You vacuum, right? The air doctor will kick up. It'll turn up its speed and its fan power, and the light will go red, and it will let you know immediately that something's wrong in the house and in the room that it's in. And so, what I love about this is you really start to understand your behavior. What are you doing at home that's causing your air pollution to be bad inside the house? And you start learning. And I think this learned behavior is really like why I'm so passionate about doing this. Like, people need to really be like aware of what they're doing in their houses that are polluting and making their environments toxic, like those pumpkin spice candles. So, first, the air indicator goes red. And then as it's cleaning the air, and those of you who have air doctors know this happens really fast, right? It goes from red to yellow to blue. So red means that you've got bad air quality. Yellow means that the air quality is moderate, and then blue means that you have good air quality. You don't have to count anything. You don't need to see any numbers. The light show will tell you what's going on, and you know that it's working. I like to tell a story of Serena, who works here with us, and her air purifier, her air doctor was on orange. It was on orange for like a week. It wouldn't change colors. And Serena ended up having an electrical fire behind her bed. And the air doctor in her room was trying to alert her that something was going on in her room and Serena's okay. And, she had some damage to her bedroom. But when your air doctor is on yellow, it's trying to tell you something. Sometimes it's trying to alert you for a high level of mold in the home. In this case, it was, like a low smoldering kind of like wire situation in the room. So if your air doctor is stuck on yellow, it means it's trying to tell you something. So please take it seriously because they're very smart devices.
Helen, I want to share a story, a personal story. I had
Yeah.
something kind of similar happen. Um, I live out in the country on an off-grid organic farm, lots of dirt and dust and things. And I have an air ductor in my bedroom, and I couldn't figure out why it was staying on yellow. I thought, I'm not even in there that much. And then my daughter came over and she noticed in the corner of the bedroom, she saw some black mold. And so I was like, oh my God. And I think that is why the air doctor kept going off because we've remediated it and it's all good now. But I'm so thankful that I had that in my bedroom because, that probably went on for like a month. And I just thought, boy, it must be really dusty or something. But once we remediated it and everything, it quit doing it. So, I'm very, very grateful I had one in my bedroom.
Yeah, I think everybody, that's the first room we should put air doctors in is our bedrooms because that's where we spend the most time in our homes. And so it's really important we're purifying the air where we sleep. And once you sleep with an air doctor in your room, it's a game changer. I like to tell a story of my daughter Bella, and she was a singer. And so, and I mean, this is just not too long ago. This is a couple years ago. She was going to school for her music. And she had such bad allergies every single day. Like she would go to school and she just couldn't sing. Like it would take her a couple hours for just to kind of her to clear out and be able to breathe so she could actually sing a note. And I put an air doctor, it was an air doctor 2000 in her room, and I remember like the day after, she called me after school and she was like, "Oh my God, mom, that thing was amazing. Like I could sing first thing in the morning." So so beautiful. Like she had such immediate relief from just purifying the air in her bedroom. It made me really happy as a mom. And it's so important, for our kids that suffer from allergies or people that have, that they're immune suppressed, that we have these units in their rooms when they sleep. So I was talking a little earlier about volatile organic compounds, and it's very important when you're looking for an air purifier that you're choosing an air purifier like Air Doctor that has a very thick, dense carbon filter. Not all carbon filters are created equal. Some companies just spray like a spray carbon on some paper and they're calling it a carbon filter, but we really take our science very seriously here at Air Doctor. So we have this beautiful, dense carbon VOC filter with a additional additive in it called permanganate, and that makes sure that permanganate is actually really expensive, and that's what pulls out all the formaldehyde and things like that are lurking in the air. You replace this filter every 6 months, and this is really important for all those phthalates, those VOCs, the unboxing, off gassing, and fragrance that we were talking about earlier to make sure that they're being removed from the air. Also, there's been a couple really big chemical spills. For instance, East Palestine, Ohio, we just had the chlorine explosion in Georgia that happened. So if you're ever in a situation where there's some sort of spill or chemical fire, these filters are what's going to be really helping you here. It's the carbon filter with any sort of chemical disruption in your environment that's going to be making sure that your family stays safe. Then we have our state-of-the-art Ultra HEPA filter. Um, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on this because this is really, really important. HEPA filters are not created equal. So most HEPA filters that you see like on Amazon or wherever, purifiers that are like $69 or $99, those HEPA purifiers only remove to zero point 0.3 microns. That's a really big fat particle. And when it comes to our health, it's the tiny particles that cause the most damage, and they break the brain barrier. And so it's not the big fat chemical or the big fat particles that are zero point 0.3 and higher that we need to worry about. It's the ones that are smaller, the microscopic particles that really do the damage to our health. And so Air Doctor and our Ultra HEPA filter, we remove microns down to 0.003 particle size. So we're 100 times more effective than regular HEPA filters. What does that mean, right? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So our ultra HEPA filter will remove particles like dust and pollen, mold spores, cigarette smoke, pet hair, and dander. But it's also powerful enough to remove bacteria, viruses. We've been tested and proven to remove 99.97% of live SARS COVID virus in a test chamber and 99.99% of bacteria and viruses like H1N1. We're one of very few air purification companies to actually have this certification. And we update our third party validation every single year. So we make sure like all of our products are validated by third party. We share our science. And so everything we say, we can back up with our scientific validation. And that's one of our values as a company. We always share our results with you. We always tell the truth, and we have complete transparency with our customers, which really gives people a lot of peace of mind. And it's why we have such a great reputation with nutritionists, doctors, schools, hospitals, and moms. So this ultra HEPA filter, you change it once a year. So, and it's really made with the highest grade possible HEPA material. So another thing that I want to talk about is CADAR. What is CADAR? So CADAR is a way that you measure the power of air purification. And it's called the Clean Air Delivery Rate. And it's a standard developed by the Home Appliance Manufacturing Association, along with the EPA, that measures how well an air purifier cleans the room. So CADAR ratings reflect the volume of air in a cubic feet per minute that is cleaned of how particles or how effective an air purifier is from removing contaminants over a period of time. The EPA, this is really important. They adopted the same standards for Energy Star. So anytime you see like our air doctor has an Energy Star reading, what that means is that means we have to submit our testing every single year to get this certificate. And so it just really kind of validates our science. And so when you see products that have Energy Star on them, it really means that they're tested and validated frequently every single year to make sure they're delivering on their promise to their customers. And then also, as a company, we really strive to be a beacon of scientific truth, which is why all of our products are third party tested and validated. We've been making and testing air purifiers for 20 years. We've been in this business for a really, really long time. And so we aren't afraid to hide our results. And you guys can check them out right on our website at airdoctor.com. We're trusted and used, like I just said, hospitals, doctor offices, fire stations. One thing that I'm really proud of is like we're based here in Los Angeles, California, and we love putting our big Air Doctor 5000s in the Forest Services dorms for these firefighters when they're out there fighting fires. It's something that we donate to every year. We make sure that our air doctors are in these firehouses, and that makes us really happy as a company. We've donated thousands of purifiers to relief efforts. We were on the ground really quick in Maui when they had those devastating fires. And we also love to plant trees. So for every one air doctor sold, we plant a tree. So to date, we've planted over 4,000, about 4,500 trees. And that number is just increasing every single day. So every single air doctor that is sold, we're planting a tree for that unit. And then we're organically endorsed by some of the world's best health experts. But I really like the endorsement that matters the most to me is mom, right? That so many moms love our air doctors and really that they give them peace of mind for their babies is really why we do this good work. It's my passion, just making sure that our families are safe and that moms are empowered with information as it relates to their family so they can make good health choices. So right
Before we
now,
move on to the
yeah,
deals, I
yeah,
just want to interject something that I feel is
sure.
really important. So I had interviewed Dr. Dale Bredesen. He is one of the leading experts, if not the leading expert in the world on Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative diseases. And I've interviewed him, I think, 4 times. You can check that out on foodintegritynow.org. Just do a search. But one of the things he said was when I was asking him questions regarding prevention, and he named his top 5 things. And guess what? Having an air doctor was in his top 5 for prevention of neurocognitive disease, like Alzheimer's, dementia, all of that, Parkinson's. And so, when I heard that too, I thought, why wouldn't you have one? It's one of the top 5 things. So I just wanted to share that. And one more thing I wanted to share. I live in Southern Cal. I live in high fire danger. And I will tell you, there were so many days where the air quality was so bad here that I didn't even want to go out to walk to my car to go somewhere. So I was so thankful that I had my air doctors going that whole time because I know that smoke would have been in my home. And it is so
Yeah.
dangerous I mean, some days I could see ash. That's how bad it was. So I was so thankful I had my air doctor. Anyway, I just wanted to give a personal.
Yeah. And I can talk a little bit about dementia as it relates to air pollution. So if you live anywhere near within 2 miles of a major road, like I mean, right now here I have a major highway just outside. Anybody that lives by a ma within 2 miles of a major highway, which is the majority of people that live in the United States, have a higher increased percentage of getting some sort of cognitive issue because they're so close to the pollution coming up from the roadways. And so it's also young kids that live close to major roadways. There's been studies that show that they have poor test scores, and there's actually some cognitive impairment in our children if they're living in an area that has a lot of air pollution. So making sure that you have an air purifier in your home, in your bedroom, is really, really, really important. Nobody should be breathing that stuff in. And our health will really thank us. And then as it relates to fires, fires now are popping up all over the country, and there's nothing more oppressing and depressing than being in a fire area and just having that smoke around you. And I agree, Carol. Like, I mean, my home is a safe haven when we have these big fires break out because we have air doctors, and also our offices. Like here in our offices, like I always say, we have the cleanest air in any office in the United States of America, right? Like,
I'll
and
bet.
so when you come to our offices, it's like what a fire, because the air is pure and the smoke and the ash and the soot stays outside. So for those of you who are concerned about fire smoke, I know it's becoming an increasingly bigger problem here across the United States and in Canada. Having a couple of air purifiers is really great. And if you only have one, put it in the room where you guys like gather, where your family gathers. Like it's really important that during those times where the air is affected, have a safe room and just make sure you're running the air purifier in it. So with that being said, let's talk about our deals. So right now, when we're recording this podcast, we're in the middle of a massive sales event. So it's our Black Friday, Cyber Monday month. It goes all month long. Happy holidays, everybody. And we've got some major deals on every possible configuration. We have one Air Doctor deal I like to call the Grand Slam, where you can save $1,100 on 4 units. And this is someone who really wants to lean in and kind of outfit their home with air purification. And if you're like really want to get into air purifiers in your family, it's a really, really great time. And then also we have AquaTrue, which we're going to be talking about next. So check out Carol's deals. We have probably 8 deals going on with Air Doctor.
Yeah, and
Um,
I have all these deals for the people that are just listening. On my website, go to foodintegritynow.org and go to Health Store. And it's really simple. You'll see the product, you'll see the deal, you'll click on it, and you can check it out. And I just made it real simple. And if you're ever thinking about getting one of these, I feel like this is the month to do it because these are literally not no plan word smoking deals.
No, they really are. And these are our best deals of the year. Like these might be our best deals ever, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
There's free shipping. We lean in big on discount. And who knows what's going to happen, right? So,
yeah.
we really try and keep the cost down and offer amazing deals this time of year. And the free shipping only happens now. So if you guys are listening and you wanted to get to air purification, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna go into a little bit about different air purifiers and which ones you might need. So we have our Air Doctor 1000. Our Air Doctor 1000 is a small unit and it's great for dorms and offices. And then we have our 2000. Everybody loves the 2000 for bedrooms, right? It's like your number one bedroom product. People love this for master bedroom, larger office. Really, really great
Yeah,
unit.
that's what I have in my bedroom. Love it.
Yeah, and then we have a 2500. The 2500 is a fairly new product, and this is the only unit that we have that can be mounted on the actual wall or it can be on the floor. And this is a pretty powerful little unit, our Air Doctor 2500, and it is great for kids' rooms. If you want to have like a really closed system, or if you don't want your child like playing with the air purifier, you can put it up on the wall. This is also really, really great for dens, playrooms, that sort of thing. So you can just get it up and off and away from the babies. And then we have our Air Doctor 3500. This is our original Air Doctor. It's our most popular product. I always say, like, if you're going to buy one Air Doctor and start, and this is the product for you because it has big handles. You can easily move it. Like if you're like in an apartment, you want it in your master, you want to move it into your living room. If you have people over, it's really easy to maneuver. And it's our most popular unit. And then we have our Air Doctor 5500. Now, this is a
This is
big,
my favorite. I love this product.
yeah, and it's so quiet, Carol, right? Like
Oh
it's the
my gosh,
quietest of them all.
yes.
I think that, people that are really, so Air Doctor 5500, all of our products are really quiet, right? Like they
Yeah,
really make very little noise. I don't even hear Air Doctors going.
I don't know.
But for people that are highly sensitive to noise, and even if white noise bothers them, our Air Doctor 5500 is the product for them. Also, it's big. It covers a 1,000 square foot room. So it's a really powerful unit. So this is great for open concept living rooms, basements. For people that have basements, I always say that every single basement should have an Air Doctor 5500 in it because it's so important that we're purifying airs in basements or workshops or garages, that sort of thing. This unit, you find it in yoga studios, gyms, offices. So it's a really, really great unit. And I have this on my ground floor, kind of like in my open concept. And now, do you want to talk about? I'm ready to go into AquaTrue, Carol. What about
Yeah,
you?
yeah. And that's my favorite unit right there because I'm single and this is perfect for me.
Yeah, so we have AquaTrue, and AquaTrue is our reverse osmosis countertop. We also have an under sink option water purifier. And what's great about our AquaTrue is it is certified to remove, this slide's actually wrong now, 84 contaminants. It's independently tested to NSF standards and it uses 4-stage RO technology. So let's talk a little bit about what's going in our tap water. So top contaminants found in tap water is arsenic. So there's 107 million Americans that have arsenic in their water. Chromium 6, 3 out of 4 people have chromium 6 in their water. 247 million Americans have chromium 6 in their tap water. Chloramine, trihalomethanes, fluoride, lead, jet fuel, antibiotics, birth control, PFOAs, PFOASs, forever chemicals. Like this stuff is all coming out of our tap. So, for those of you who are not driving right now, I always tell people to go to ewg.org and to check your water in your municipality. This page right here, if you guys can see my screen, is my own water report. And this is why I do what I do every day. This is why I'm so passionate about educating about clean air and clean water. Because when I ran my EWG water report, I have 16 contaminants that exceed the health guidelines. And I was just completely blindsided by how many poisonous things that are in my tap water that cause cancer. And this is not just me, this is across the United States of America. Our water is not safe, and it is so important that we purify our water that we drink and that we cook with. And fluoride is just about everywhere. Fluoride is one of those things you cannot take out with a pitcher filter. Like they don't work, And so super important you're using RO to purify your water.
I want to talk a little bit about fluoride. I just did an article on Food Integrity Now because and I've known for years that fluoride is a neurotoxin and have avoided it at all costs. But now, um, actually, there was a judge that ruled that basically EPA needs to do further testing and stuff, and that fluoride really is a problem. And the article I wrote on Food Integrity Now is about the history of fluoride, which is very, very eye-opening. So if you're getting fluoride in your toothpaste, in your water, it's really can be a dumbing down. It has a dumbing down factor where it affects the pineal gland and lowers children's IQs. Anyway, I could go on and on. I won't, but it's really important to get your fluoride out of your water.
Yeah, and one thing I really love to talk about, and when I do podcasts or when I educate, as you know, is that people don't realize that contaminants do not boil out. So for those of you listening today, and I always like, this is my thing, please cook with purified water. Contaminants do not boil out. And really, like when I learned this, I kind of was like, what are you saying to me? Like all the times that I've went to make like mac and cheese for my family or boil some pasta or steam some broccoli or like anything that I do, right? Like understanding that contaminants concentrate, they don't dissipate, kind of blew my mind. And so many of us are guilty of just like, taking our little thing from our Nespresso machine and filling it up with tap water, taking our water kettle, filling it up with tap water. You're not purifying your water. The only thing that you're doing is making sure it's free of bacteria and living organisms. And all these forever chemicals and all like lead and chlorine and all these things, they concentrate, they don't dissipate. So if you hear anything today, please hear that contaminants boil out. I'm really passionate about it. And also, please remember your fur babies. Please make sure that, like, so many animals have cancer these days in the water. And so, please make sure for your animals that you're thinking about them, that you're giving them purified water too. Super important.
Right.
So, let's talk about the Aquachu family. We have a beautiful assortment of water purifiers. We have something for everybody. We have our AquaTrue Classic and Connect unit, and that kind of goes up on your countertop. It's a bigger unit, and I always say I love our Classic unit for homes that have little kids in them. It has a big blue button that dispenses water, and I love seeing little kids just hit that big blue button and pour themselves a glass of water. It makes me really happy. Then we have the AquaTrue Carafe, which Carol was just talking about. This is a beautiful, easy to use glass pitcher water purifier, and you just pour your tap water in the back. Pure water comes out the front. This is a very popular unit. And it's really great for single people, couples, dorm rooms, apartment living, Airbnbs. I can go on and on. This is a great unit, and it's definitely.
I bought an extra carafe for the very reason that, just as you were saying about when you're cooking, I'll think, oh gosh, I'm making pasta or whatever. And I thought, oh, good, I have an extra carafe of the purified water, so I don't have to wait. I have it on hand, but it's really easy to just buy an extra carafe and, if you go through it really quickly.
Yeah, and then for those of you, what I have in my home is I have our AquaChew under sink. Um, I own my house, and so I have it under my sink, and it's just a handyman install. Our under sink unit is really great for high volume. So if you really have a high volume of water needed, and you can go in and do what you need to do on your counter, so you can have your water spigot. I love, love, love my AquaChew under sink, and it really helps me cook with purified water. And fun fact, I also have an AquaChew carafe upstairs because that's where we work out. And so, my husband, and I'm going to call him out here, he's so naughty about putting water in a plastic bottle and leaving it upstairs where we work out. And I'm constantly having to kind of like reprimand him about microplastics. And so finally, I just was like, look, I'm putting a carafe upstairs, and you could just like fill your workout bottle like as you're drinking, and not have water sitting. So I have one upstairs too. And a lot of people that have whole house reverse osmosis systems, they get an AquaChew carafe to just make extra certain that their drinking water is really purified. So we were just talking about our AquaChew Classic model. It's a really great big capacity. We love the blue button for families. So if you've got little kids at home, I love the AquaChew Classic for you. We also have an AquaTrue Connect model. So for those of you in the country that live in areas that got really, really bad water quality, and you know where that is, like Pensacola, Florida, Syracuse, New York, areas in Michigan where you really want to monitor your TDS, we have an AquaTrue model that's connected to Wi-Fi that will help monitor your TDS level. It's called total dissolved solids, the level that's in your water. So if you've got a problem, you can really kind of track what's going on with your water in your municipality. We've got our carafe, which is gorgeous. People love our carafe because of the glass pitcher, and you can take it to the dinner table. It's really elegant, and people love it. And then again, our undersink. So for homeowners out there that have high volume, our undersink is for you. Let's talk a little bit about the purification process. So we use four-stage filter technology. Stage one goes through and it removes all the heavy particles and sediment out of the water. And then our stage two filter removes things like chlorine and chloramines. Chloramines and trihalomethanes are very, very hard to remove from water. And so we're very proud that we can get chloramines out with this stage filter. Then we have our reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis, just to remind people how that works, is like it'll separate the pure water from the contaminated water. So all the pure water goes through the RO membrane, and the contaminated water stays behind. And then in addition to that, we have one extra layer of filtration, which is our VOC carbon filter that really pulls out the microscopic particles like forever chemicals and PFAS. So PFAS, they're called forever chemicals because they last forever. And so it's really important that when you're picking water filtration that you get something that removes forever chemicals. And then we just recently got our microplastic certification. So we're one of very few water purification options that are certified to NSF standards to remove microplastics. And now we're learning that microplastics are living in our bodies. They have been found everywhere in our bodies, and I'm not going to get into it on this program because it's kind of gross, but like we don't want microplastics or forever chemicals lurking in our bodies. So really important that we're purifying our water. Pretty easy to change the filters. Our pre-filter you change every 6 months, the RO filter every 2 years, and the carbon filter every 1 year. And on Air Doctor and AquaTrue, we're also having these amazing Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. And what we have right now that I think, I mean, Carol, I know this is going to be your favorite. We have our AquaTrue carafe on sale for $100 off with a free carbon filter and free shipping. So basically, like if you want to give the gift of clean water to your loved ones, they'll be set for a year with their filters if you get them our AquaTrue carafe that's on sale right now. We have sales on everything, but that is really my favorite deal.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
And then we also, just as a reminder, we have our Air Doctor deals. So we're very, very dedicated to making sure that all of the great friends of Air Doctor and AquaTrue and Ideal Living can really extend some beautiful discounts to their listeners.
Helen, this has been great. Thank you so much. Every time I hear you speak, I learn something new. Today it was the Amazon boxes. And
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah,
I'm pretty anal. At least that's what my clients say. You say, oh, I got to do that and that. And what I tell people, I mean, what we just discussed, they're really key to your great health, to obtaining optimal health. And I say, it can be overwhelming to people sometimes. They go, oh my God, I got to get rid of my cleaning products. I got to change this. I got to do this. And I tell them base hits win the ball game. We're
yeah.
never going to get rid of all the chemicals. We live in a toxic world, but we can get rid of a majority of them. And the more that you have things like an air doctor and a water purification system, along with, of course, eating really clean food, it's life changing. So I'm just real excited that you were able to come on with me today because nobody can talk about this like you can.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate it. And for all our listeners, please go to foodintegritynow.org, go to Health Store. All these deals are on there. It's real simple. Just click on it and you can learn more on the website too. So thank you, Helen, for being an advocate for clean living. And I just really enjoyed our conversation today.
I do too. And Carol, thank you for being just such a great friend and educator in this space. I mean, it's just so beautiful to see our community grow of people that are out there really educating on non-toxic home and things that we can do with for our family. So I really appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. So again, thanks to our listeners and check out the Air Doctors and AquaTrue and you won't be sorry because they're just fabulous products. And I am really picky on the products I represent. My show is food integrity now. So I get asked to represent a lot of different products and I don't choose very many. But I think Ideal Living is just an amazing company and I think their products are great. So thanks for being here and I'll be back next week with another great show.